Hi, Dale Abraham here, Golf Tips Magazine, top 25 instructor, and I want to help you with the concept of being laid off or online at the top of the swing and why this is important. So we're using the help of the overhead camera. I know a lot of you don't have that, but we'll go to the down the line camera in a minute. And what we mean by that is at the top of your swing, we want to see the club be parallel to our target line. So if we have a line here that's basically right parallel to the edge of the mat there, that's our target line, and we can draw that line on both in front of us and behind us. At the top of the swing, we want to see that club be parallel to that line. So as the club goes back, it gets back to about hand height right there. It's parallel. That's really good. And then as it continues up here, this one is laid off. So we can see at the top of the swing here, this club shaft, if we draw it in, let's say, yellow, is pointed well to the left of the target or not parallel to these red lines. So this is what we would call laid off. Club at the top of the line is pointing left of our target, and that's a laid off position. The reason why this is can be a problemsome position is the club starts down too flat right here. So we're going to be able to actually see that from the other view. When we look at it from this view, which we call the down the line view, we can see, again, drawing up a plane line here. So it's just a line on the shaft at address. Club goes back along that line, sets fairly parallel to, but at the top of the swing we can again see the club shaft pointing well left of the target line. That shaft at the very top here, club head should be behind the hands and pointing right down the toe line. So that's what we call laid off. The reason that it can be tough is as the club starts down in this first few frames is the club shaft is on too flat an angle. It's actually flatter than the plane line here. So what happens is it starts down very, very flat and then has to steepen. This can lead to a lot of pulls and actually some overcuts as well. So it's one of those things that can be a problem if it's not dealt with correctly. So it's better to be online, which is again the difference here. If we go back up to the top on the screen there and we put one up over here, so you can see the difference at the top right here. So this is another backswing. At the top, this one is actually parallel to the edges of the mat. So this is online, this one's laid off or pointing to the left. So hopefully that clarifies what laid off and online are. We really want to try to get this one on the right where the club points, when it gets parallel to the ground at the top of the backswing, it points right down our target line. If it is short of parallel to the ground, then it can point slightly left. We would just have to extrapolate and say, okay, if the club continued to go back, where would it point at the top? It's an estimate, but we want it to point, or an estimate of it pointing right down our target line at the top of the backswing.